Krishna, all devotees, and welcome to our weekly session. We are currently discussing Nectar of Instructions, verse 2, and we'll be talking today about predominantly the power of association. So we've been discussing this verse, and we'll conclude this verse today, and we'll move to the rest of the Nectar of Instructions starting from next Sunday. So let's begin by chanting Pranam Mantra for Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamyam Didati Swapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world a mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. So let's pray. Let us all pray for the mercy from Srila Prabhupada and Srila Rupa Goswami so that we can understand the nectar of instruction, whatever the instructions that he has given, whatever Prabhupada wants us to do, we can understand all that and try and put our best effort forward to put that into actual practice as well. I've been discussing this slide or 5 things that we must do to enjoy, to relish the rasa. And we must understand tattva, we should follow sadachar, perform some seva, visit tirtha, and cultivate vairagya. Everything is possible when we have mercy from Lord and His devotees, and we will be able to relish this rasa, the nectar of spiritual happiness, which is what will keep us floating in this material world. We discussed verse 1 already. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udarapastha vegam, etam vegam yo vishayeta dinaha, sarvam apimam putvim sashishya. So the qualification of guru that we spoke about, who can take disciples all over the world, has to have these qualities. He should be able to control the urges of his mind, anger, and various things, so that he can focus exclusively on glorifying Krishna. He can focus on Krishna. He can get attached to Krishna. If one is attached to those 6 things, one will have no time left for himself or herself to think of Krishna. One has to be completely surrendered to Krishna. Sarvadharman Parityajya. One cannot practice if one is attached to all these things. One's mind is not in one's control. One cannot control one's anger. One cannot control one's eating, the desire to eat, and the urges of the belly and the genitals. So these urges, if one is not able to control, he cannot practice Sarvadharman Parityajya. Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. He cannot take Sharanagati of Lord Krishna. That's the fundamental qualification of a guru. And such a person can become a guru if he has all these qualities. And by accepting such a person as guru, we as a disciple also commit ourselves, commit to that guru, commit to Lord Krishna to cultivate similar qualities going forward. And hence, it's not only qualification of guru. These similar qualifications, if we accept that person as a guru who has these qualities, he will teach us these qualities. So as a disciple also, we should be prepared to practice, learn and practice these things, how to practice these things, so that we can at our level surrender to Lord Krishna. We can practice Sarvadharman Parityajya at our level. Another 6 actions Srila Rupa Goswami prescribes, which will destroy bhakti. Whatever small bhakti we have, it will get destroyed if we engage ourselves in these 6 activities. One is eating too much, collecting too much, having desire to enjoy too much, having desire to be respected too much. So anything too much is a hurdle, anything too much is a problem. And that becomes the first statement by Rupa Goswami. Then over-endeavoring, when we have desires to have more, we will have to do more. And by compromise, this doing more, we don't get extra hours. All of us have 24 hours. And often this do more comes at the sacrifice of bhakti, by chanting less, by reading less, by attending classes less, by visiting temple less, or by cutting down on yatras so that we can focus on our material endeavors. For providing for fueling our atyahar, we have to do over endeavor by cutting down our spiritual activities and talking unnecessarily. We may end up associating with similar worldly people who have similar desires. And then we go around those people, we talk with them unnecessarily on mundane subject matters. They got nothing to do with the spiritual subjects. So we talk with them, we associate with them, and these people are often driven by goals for material achievements, goals for and for fulfilling these goals, they are least bothered about following any rules and regulation. They may follow country rules and regulations so that they don't get caught by government, but the last thing on their mind is to follow rules of God. Because then they can directly become in conflict of their own personal goals. So they value their personal goals so much that they give up all kind of niyama by Krishna. So all the rules and regulations they reject and become greedy. They become greedy for mundane achievements. This is the verse that we are talking about. The last Sunday we spoke a lot about Niyama-Agraha, which has twofold meaning. One is insisting on adherence to the rule without understanding the principle. So there is a principle, and then there are rules which are designed so that the principle can be followed properly. But if we don't understand the principle, only focus on following the rules, we may end up making a mistake that we may break the principle by following the rules, and that way we will not really, it will not, whatever we will achieve will not be helpful. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, I will briefly touch upon this, that human life is meant for simple living, plain living and high thinking. Plain living means collecting making arrangement for our survival and sustenance, not living in property. Plain living doesn't mean you have to be in poverty. You, by your karma, by your prarabdha, everything will come to you. If your prarabdha, if your karma has wealth written in your prarabdha, it will come to you by your normal endeavor. So you don't have to sacrifice your spiritual time, spiritual activities in order to gain that wealth. And by sacrificing spiritual activity, you will not be able to earn even a paisa more than what you are destined to get. So it's anyway useless. So one has to do normal endeavor. One don't have to do extra endeavor for collecting wealth, and that has happening. We are going to, our Bhakti Lata bridge is getting destroyed. The Prabhupada writes in the purport very beautifully that the matter and spirit are opposite things. So the Antaranga Shakti is spiritual potency, and Bahiranga Shakti is the material world, Mahamaya, Maya Devi. And they are opposite. And Tatastha Shakti, living entities, are caught up in between this Antaranga Shakti and the Bahiranga Shakti. They can't see both at the same time. If one is facing spiritual potency, one will have his back to the material world. And if one is having his face towards material potency, Mahamaya, then one will have his back to the spiritual potency. These are opposite, and hence one has to give up one to accept the another, to choose another. So accepting material world, it will mean rejection of spiritual potency, um, spiritual potency. So this is what Prabhupada says, that if we get into the business of over endeavoring, keep ourselves to big targets, then then there will be no time left for us to pursue spiritual reality, to practice devotional service, which means that our spiritual, we will have our completely our back towards the spiritual potency. And that will be extremely unfortunate, because this is the purpose of human life, is not to not to engage in the eating, meeting, sleeping, defending activities, but to realize the purpose of life. Now that can happen only when you refer to the scriptures, only when you read scriptures, and to take, for reading, for doing that, you need to take shelter of our Krishna's spiritual potency, Antarana Shakti. So a simple living can leave ourselves with a lot of time for dedicating it towards exploring the spiritual reality. And that is what is expected to be done by all of us. The main problem confronting the conditioned soul is not that they don't have jobs, that there is poverty in the world, there are diseases, there was coronavirus a couple of years back. No, that these are not the real problems. The real problem is Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 13.21 that Purusha Prakritisto hi bhute prakriti gunam karana guna samvasya sat asat yoni janmasu. So sat asat, higher and lower species of life, one is forced to take birth. Sat asat yoni janmasu. One is forced to take birth in higher and lower species of life because of their association with modes of material nature. And why would one want to associate with these modes? Because one wants to act to fulfill their desires for enjoying material world. When bhunte prakriti jan gunan, when one has a desire to enjoy the matter can be in form of a human, another human being, the body of another human being, or it could be owning land, possessing a lot of money, getting a lot of respect. These are all material things. These are all matters, and when one has desire to enjoy such matter, one is forced to act under the influence of one of the three modes of material nature. And these modes, when we act under modes, we produce, our actions produce reactions. And for enjoying and suffering those reactions, we are forced to take birth in the material world. And when we take birth, we are conditioned to the birth, old age, disease, and death. So this is the cycle of birth and death, and this is how we are caught one life after another life, and through millions of lifetimes. And this is what we've been trying to do. Unfortunately, all our previous endeavors were unsuccessful, and that is why we are present in today's world. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna, we have opportunity to perfect our life in one lifetime now, in this lifetime itself, and go back to Krishna and end the cycle of repeated birth by going back to Krishna in this lifetime, if we can perfect our life, if we can act according to the instructions of Lord Krishna, which are explained by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita, so that we don't have to come back again. Sat asat yoni janmasu. We are freed from this cycle of repeated birth. So we saw through some of those discussions we've already had. We'll skip through these slides. This is Prahlad Maharaj insisting the endeavor, the goal of life is to perform devotional service. We saw also Rishabh Dev teaching to his sons that one should not only crave or hanker for the pleasures which are even available to dogs and hogs, who eat stool. So one's human life is made for higher purpose, and that is devotional service. Perform penances and austerities and perform devotional service. So we went through the Prajalpa and the Niyama-Agraha. We've had devoted a couple of sessions for that. And today we will start with association directly. And association is critical. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that Janasangha means associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. One should strictly avoid such association. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has therefore advised us to live only in the association of Krishna conscious devotees. Bhakta Same Savasa. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of the Lord's devotees. One should be always engage in serving Lord in association of Lord's devotees. So, there's a beautiful verse that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidhi Vina Aikantaki Harer Bhakti Utpata Eva Kalpate. Aikantaki means if somebody is trying to perform devotional service to the Lord Hari, Harer Bhakti, Aikantaki Harer Bhakti. How? By disregarding the Shruti and Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatriki Vidhivina. The Shruti and Smriti are the Vedas and the Vedas and Puranas. And Pancharatriki Naradiya Purana explains how worship of Lord should be performed. So by rejecting all the Shastra, if one by one's own mind and whimsical thoughts try to perform devotional service on his own, alone, such service can create utpat for one person, that himself, as well as in the society. It can create utpat. Utpat means great agitation, great disturbance in the society. So, so the association of Lord's devotees is most critical. If one has any desire to cultivate Krishna consciousness, he must search for devotee association. The like-minded devotee association is a must for such a person, for to be able to sustain and to be able to cultivate some Krishna consciousness and some interest, some attraction towards Krishna, and be able to engage in his service in some way or other. So he must go search for association, physical association, to the extent possible, or else digital association like this. So this beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita, 10.9, which is part of 8 Chatushloki Gita, the 4 verses of 10.8, 9, 10, and 11 constitute the essential message of Bhagavad Gita. That's what many acharyas have said, Prabhupada has said. So these are the first verse talk about the greatness of Krishna, how great Krishna is. Aham sarvasya pramavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samhita. So Buddha are the wise people. They know, they start worshipping me with all their heart and all their emotions when they understand that aham sarvasya prabhu, everything, I am responsible for everything in the material world. Whatever the universe, the creation that you see around you, I am responsible for that. It's been created by me. Once you understand my greatness like this, you immediately become humble, submissive to me, and start worshipping me. And such people who comes to this decision of worshipping Krishna are Buddha, are intelligent. In the 7.19, again, another beautiful verse, Krishna says that that Mahatma, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma. Anybody who comes to this conclusion that Vasudev is everything, Vasudev Krishna is everything, such a Mahatma Sudurlabha, such a wise soul, such an intelligent person, such a great soul is very rare. So, so that's the condition of everyone. So it's no surprise that people oppose us, because they are not part of those great. They are not these great souls. Therefore, they belong to the general public who has so far not concluded that Lord Shri Krishna is everything, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, who are not become wise Buddha, so that because they don't understand that aham sarvasya prabhu, everything has been emanated from Krishna, everything is created by Krishna, maintained by Krishna, and will be destroyed by Krishna. The whole material creation is is been created by a small spark of his prowess. So people don't know this, and therefore they are unable to devote themselves to Krishna. They are unable to become devotees of Krishna. And so such people are rare, those who can take this decision. And such people, Krishna says, are Buddha, are wise. And what do they do? When they come to this point, how do they, what is their disposition? What is the disposition of such devotees of Lord Krishna, pure devotees of Lord Krishna? This is explained in the 10.9, and 10.10 and 11 speak about the relationship between Lord Krishna and his devotees. That Krishna in 10.9 is saying that Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Dityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. My thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they desire great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So it is interesting to see in the previous verse, Krishna has already said that those people who start worshipping Krishna, those people who know about Krishna's greatness, that he is creator, maintainer, and destroyer of the entire creation, are wise people. Those are wise people, and those wise people start worshipping him with all their heart. But now, here again, Krishna is saying, now they don't become wise just once. Once they meet one another, they find similar people who also have concluded like this. Means they take devotee association, they go in associate search, they go and search for association of devotees, like-minded people, and there they enlighten each other, one another by conversing about me, by if they are already Buddha, why do they need to be enlightened again? Because Krishna is unlimited and his pastimes are unlimited. His knowledge that one can learn is also unlimited. That's why same verse, 10 people reads, can come up with 10 different meanings, and all of those could be simultaneously correct. Those same 10 people read the same verse after 1 year, they will come up with a different meaning, and those meanings can also be correct, because Krishna is limitless and his words are also limitless, and one can derive unlimited nectar from the same word, same verse, and it just depends on our capacity to understand Krishna in the depth. But how much more deep we can go, there's no limit to it. Because Krishna is indeed unlimited. So that's why devotees, when they meet, like-minded devotees, when they meet, they speak about Krishna, and they enlighten each other, and they by doing this, they feel great satisfaction, they derive great satisfaction and bliss. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Ramanti is the bliss. Tushyanti is happiness. They feel extremely happy about talking about Krishna, what they have learned. So they're always eager to share what they have understood about Krishna most recently, with whenever they meet other devotees. It gives us hint what we should be doing when we meet devotees, and this is what we should be obviously doing. So let's move forward. Let's understand. The association is the key word that we are going to focus today upon, and we will see the fundamental need to associate. Why we cannot perform bhakti alone? Aikantaki harer bhakti utpata eva kalpate. ऐसा क्यों बोला है? And for that, I think we need to understand the fundamental psychology a little bit of all human beings. And if indeed it's not only human beings, we see this being practiced by even animals, that they need social circle as well. So all of us, we all have a need for social circle or association. The social circle where we can be, where we feel we need. So if we don't have a social circle of like-minded people, we may feel lost. And we could be, sometimes we are introvert. We say that we are introvert people. Sometimes we say we are extrovert people. no matter how we are, all of us need a social circle where we want to be belonging to, where we want to belong to, where we want to express ourselves, and we want to be accepted in that circle. We want to be respected, and we want to be valued in that social circle. And our constant endeavor is to keep searching for that social circle. It could be our family, it could be our friends, it could be our colleagues. Every place where we touch upon, we want to create that social circle. If we go to school, we want to have a social circle around in our school. If we are working, if we are in college, we want to have our social circle in our college. We create a social circle there. We go to office, we create a social circle in office. We live in a society, a complex. We try and create a social circle there. We live in society in general. Wherever we go, whichever aspect of life we touch upon, we want to create a social circle. If we are health conscious, we want to have a social circle where we can of like-minded people, where people can come together and talk about health and sports and so on and so forth. So we are always striving for social circles, and we may have parallelly, many social circles. Just take a look at your WhatsApp groups. How many groups you are part of, and that will tell you that you do have a need. Have a group for morning walk, you have a group for evening walk, you have a group for music classes, a group for cricket, or group for going to temple, group for Bhagavad Gita reading. Bhagavatam reading has a separate group. Japa has a separate group. There is need. There is need for those devotees who want to learn musical instruments, kartal playing, harmonium playing, mridanga playing. They can have their special groups. So if somebody is interested in making dresses, duty dresses, floral garlands, they can have their social separate groups where they can meet, decide when to come together and talk about these things. So it doesn't matter what kind of a person you are. You need a social circle where you want to be accepted, where you want to be respected, and where you want to be valued. Your presence need to be valued. The difference between the extrovert and introvert is very simple. The extrovert person derive their energy or power of thinking when they are surrounded by people, and introvert person, on the contrary, derives that power, that energy, the thought process works best when they are alone. However, once they have figured out, their thought process is clear, they want to share it with some group. So even introvert persons also need a social circle where they can express their thoughts. So it is a fundamental need to have association of like-minded people. Association can pull us up, or it can pull us down. So it's very important. There is a beautiful story that comes in Ramayana where Sugriv, the Lord Ram kills, his brother and give that kingdom to Sugriv. And in return, Sugriv was supposed to help Lord Ram find Sita, Mother Sita. And what happened at around the same time, the Chaturmas broke, or Chaturmas started when it was heavily raining everywhere, and then they decided that for 4 months we will suspend this operation of search Mother Sita. And then when there was nothing much to do, what do we do? That's what Sugriv was doing. When we have nothing much to do, we switch on TV, we switch on internet, and we go online and find our pleasure online. And Sugriv was a king, so he had far greater resources of pleasure. So he got engaged in sense gratification. He had wives, he had dancers, and he had nice opulent kingdom to enjoy, and that's what he was doing for next 4 months. And he forgot Lord Ram is there in Kishkinda, Lakshman is there, Hanuman is there, and they're all waiting for him to come out of his slumber and come up with a plan to search Mother Sita. He forgot that completely, and completely engrossed in sense gratification, Hanuman went and tell him that boss, his Hanuman is just his servant. So in very humble mood, Hanuman reminds him that you have a duty, you have a promise made to Lord Ram, and you should better act on it. And then Lakshman comes and he speaks in not so humble way. He speaks in much angrier way that this is not on. I mean, you promised us something and you must keep your word. And this association with Hanuman, association with Lakshman, lifts Sugriv up, and he give up his sense gratification, sense enjoyment, and he because of that association, he remembered his duty towards Lord, and then he come out of it and then start making plans for searching Mother Sita. So the association could actually help us and pull us up, but but so having a right association becomes very important, and so that we can take right decisions at every point. And how many times in life we are taking decisions? We are taking decisions constantly. Right from the moment we got up today morning, we were taking decisions. Even though we know a flow of our day broadly, that we need to get up, we need to clean up, we need to brush and clean up ourselves, do japa, and probably then start with our morning duties, other duties. But should I? We may have toothpaste, and we may have to take a decision. Should I take this or that toothpaste? Should we take bath now or should we take bath later? Should we eat this or should we eat that? Should I eat now or should I eat later? So life is just like a crossroads. We hit the crossroads. We hit the crossroad. We have to take a decision, because then there are suddenly you tried it on one road and suddenly you have three other options opening up in front of you. You can go left, you can go straight, or you can turn right. So a crossroad forces a decision upon us. Every time we hit a crossroads, we are forced to take some decision. Some decisions can be not so consequential. Even if the decision is to eat now or later, I may choose to eat now or I may choose to eat later. It does not have great consequences. What I choose to eat, that may also. So these are routine decisions. Doesn't really impact our life in great way. However, there could be some decisions which can have a broader impact, have a larger, deeper impact. Like a student face big decision when they pass out matriculate exam and they want to go take some college. The first question every student faces, which stream you're likely to choose. I want to take science, which can take you to engineering and medical, or you want to be commerce, or to be arts, or to applied arts, fine arts. This is a crossroad, a big crossroad for a student who passing 10th to choose where to go. Why? Because it has its own consequences. Changing streams are not easy. You may lose 2-3 years in the process. So they have far greater consequences. So those are more important. But decisions are made constantly, and they shape our life. Our life is nothing but sum total of all the decisions that we make. So the association play a big role in our decisions. Our decisions are not directly impacted, but they are shaped by our association. They're influenced by our association, and hence the association, the focus is on the association, understanding the implications of that association. So we discussed this very briefly, that association, understanding association a little bit deeply, that the association is not just physical proximity. A fly or a mosquito sitting on the body of spiritual master has the closest possible physical association with spiritual master, but that creature is unable to understand, no capacity to understand what the spiritual master is speaking. So it doesn't automatically lead to physical proximity does not automatically lead to association. Association implies association means there's an emotional exchange. There's a sharing of emotion that's happening. There's a giving and taking of emotions that's taking place. The desires are transferred. There's a transfer of desires and transfer of decisions, influence of decision that as the outcome of all that which is happening. So when we are influenced by somebody, when we when the emotion, there are emotional exchange that happens between people. We get influenced by somebody's look, by somebody's skills, by somebody's ability. Then we are taking association with that person. So we may hear a interview of a big businessman who is explaining how he made it big in his career, and we become influenced by that. We want, then this is taking association, taking his association, even though he must be speaking on the television, we must be watching it from our home, but we are taking association because we are exchanging emotions with that person. And so this is, so we should be very now association, the emotions lead to desires. We'll see in a moment how that happens. Therefore, be we should be very careful in associating with people. We may be surrounded by hundreds of people, but we don't have to necessarily associate with all of those 100 people. So example of employees, we have temples, discount temples, we have gift shop, we have some people who work in that gift shop as an employee, and they may work there for year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 years. But if they are not devotionally inclined, they don't take to chanting, they don't understand the philosophy, tattva. So they, despite of working for so many years, they may never become devotee. They may not be able to develop attraction for Krishna at all. And so it could be the case with many people who stay in the neighborhood of our temples. There are so many devotees inside the temple, but they are unable to take their association because they are not inclined mentally, emotionally. So they don't do devotional the emotional exchanges with the devotees, and hence they are never affected by the devotees. So devotee, they may stay in the physical proximity with the temple and devotees, but may never actually take association of Krishna or devotees, and hence don't benefit. So this happens because the emotional world, we all have our own emotional world where we feel comfortable, where we feel we will enjoy, where we feel that we will enjoy that part, and therefore we want to hold on to our own emotional world. And this emotional world is different for different people. Where I will feel happy, where by doing which activities will give me happiness. There's a picture, there's a conception in the mind of everyone, and that is different from person to person. So, and in case of these employees, for example, who are engaged in the gift shop, for example, in serving the devotees, serving the temple. But if they feel their conception of happiness, if I smoke, I will become happy. If that is their conception of happiness, then by chanting, when they cannot understand how devotees can derive happiness by chanting Krishna's name. Now, so these are like parallel lines that his conception of happiness is smoking or eating meat or getting drunk by drinking alcohol or watching some obscene movie. No, that is their conception of happiness. And whereas a devotee is doing completely different activities. So their worlds are different, their emotional worlds are different, and hence they are all like parallel lines running parallel to each other. So there is no possibility of intersection. And hence, even if they work for 100 years in the temple, they may never become a devotee because their emotional path don't cross. So, so the emotions and desires are related. So emotions are feelings which comes to us, and desire is an aspiration which go out, kind of, So there is a relationship. So you can see in the example that in America, in India, people are generally mad about cricket. They are emotional about cricket. And if American person comes to India, a student could be a working professional, and if we see around, look around, that people are crying on the streets when India lost World Cup final, and now he may not even understand the game of cricket, but he will understand the emotion that people around him experience. And if he's close to those people, he will start experiencing that same emotion. By sharing that emotion, he will develop a desire to understand cricket more. Up till now, he had no desire to understand what the game of cricket means. But by associating with the people, by sharing people's emotions, who has emotions for cricket, he may develop a desire for understanding what cricket is all about. And similarly, a reverse thing can happen with a person who to America, when those sports which today don't matter to us, but though the American people are very emotionally connected. They connected with those games, those teams, those players, and by that association, by seeing their emotion, we can get affected, and we may develop interest in doing those things as well. So emotion produce desires, and desires produce emotions. So emotions produce desires, and desires produce emotions. That's just a reality. And hence, we need to guard our emotional world. When we enjoy the emotions that materialistic people are enjoying, we get the desires that they are having. It's a very important line. When we enjoy the emotions that a materialistic person is enjoying, then we also get a desire that they are having. And we'll see that in a example, by way of an example, in a short time. So these desires that materialistic people can have. Now, materialistic people are obviously, we are not talking about devotional people. So materialistic people will have materialistic desires. Now, we are saying that if we enjoy the emotions that they are enjoying, we will have a desire that they are having. So their materialistic people will have materialistic desires. Their desires can be to be the wealthiest person in the world, in India, in the country, in the city, or in the society. So these decisions can be non-devotional. For example, they can be talk about cricket or economics, or one may have a desire to become rich by and that's all right. I mean, if you are, as long as you're if you as long as you're doing your best, you want to double the turnover of your company, and increase your profit 4 times in 10 years time, and want to become the biggest in the number one in the country, whatever be your goal, as long as you're doing it legally, it's that this is not these are not non-devotional desires. They're non-devotional desires, but they are not illegal or anti-devotional desires. But some can be anti-devotional desires, like talking about sexuality, talking about so those kind of there could be non-devotional, and there could be anti-devotional desires that materialistic people can have. And by if we see they enjoy those emotions, if we enjoy the emotions that those people are enjoying, we will get the desires that they are having. This is the fundamental thing. So if a student is in a circle of smokers, drinkers, and he see those students who are indulging in these activities, they're smoking and they're drinking, and they are making a face as if they are on top of the world. They are the happiest person, and they may appear to be the happiest person in the world to start with. And if a student is in circle of such friends, he has such kind of friends. By seeing them repeatedly do these things, he will actually start enjoying that emotion of that person may be experiencing. And if he does that, eventually feel pressurized to take up that habit as well. Because by enjoying that emotion, he will himself get a desire to have that indulgence, or by just being in that association, he will indirectly get pressured to take up that habit. So eventually, by staying in the habit of smokers and drinkers, you will eventually become smoker and drinker yourself. So the same student, if he happens to be in the circle of serious student who focus only on study, don't drink, don't smoke, and by sitting among such people, such students, suddenly this student, picks up a cigarette and lights and starts smoking. Then he may meet eyes of disapproval from all his friends. They may not approve in what he's doing. They are all non-smokers, and one person suddenly lights a cigarette and starts smoking, and sitting in between them, and then they disapprove. He will be forced to give up smoking that particular moment at least. So he may not feel very comfortable doing that activity in this circle. So there is a constant shaping that's happening. We want to do certain things, but we also want us to be accepted and respected and valued in our social circle. So we don't want to do it at the cost of disapproval of our immediate social group, our association. So that association shaped our desire. The boy may have a desire to smoke, but he is giving up his desire to smoke for maybe he will go out and smoke, he will do smoke some other time. Similarly, in the office, we may have a desire to shout at our boss, but we may not do that. Or we may have a desire to use foul language at our customer, or it could be angry with somebody. But the social circle will shape our action and our choices of word and choice of word, and we may still talk in a much sober way than we otherwise would have. So, so there is a constant battle which is going on inside us with when we are with people, and we are constantly making choices. Now, the desires are also have are linear and or triangular. They are linear as well as they are triangular. A linear desire means we may see a pizza in temple bakery, and we may have a desire to eat it. Now that may not happen when a person who is seeing cigarette or the alcohol or the drug injection for the first time, because those objects don't really look very attractive by themselves. But however, if we see a famous personality, a famous social influencer, could be a Bollywood, Hollywood star, a movie star, a famous movie star, if they are seen enjoying this aspect, these things, and by seeing them enjoy, by seeing them enjoy their emotions, if we enjoy that enjoyment, then we will get a desire to do that thing as well. So this is what the social influence can do to us. Let's take a look at what we say. So this is the first is the cigarette ad from Hollywood. So this is blow in her face and she will follow you everywhere. Next is an alcohol ad. And the third one is Old Spice. So what's happening here is when we enjoy the emotions that these materialistic people are enjoying, they could be Hollywood personalities, they could be rich and famous people, they could be known to the whole population, and but however, by appearing these people, when they appear on the billboards, when they appear on television, they appear in movie theaters, and they do indulge in these things. And if we enjoy the emotions that these people are exhibiting in those ads, in those movies, then we will eventually get a desire that they are having. This is the this is the warning, this is the secret why we end up having a wrong association and making wrong choices, leading to wrong choices. So this is how our association influence us. So moving forward, association with those engaged in the Prabhupada talks about the importance of association in terms of connecting with like-minded people, and Prabhupada compares it with business community that they form a chamber of commerce or the FICCI, and there are many association where stock exchange and chamber of commerce are examples Prabhupada quote in the purport that they where the like-minded people from similar community comes together and they try and promote their common business, and that's all right. That's he says. And similarly, we have established International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give people an opportunity to associate with those who have not forgotten Krishna, who remember Krishna, who wants to remember Krishna, who wants to constantly remember Krishna. Smartavyam satatam Krishna, smartavyam satatam Vishnu. Get Never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Those who have made this their goal of life. This spiritual association offered by our ISKCON movement is increasing day by day. Many people from different parts of the world are joining the society to awaken their dormant Krishna consciousness, the love for Krishna. Then Prabhupada says that what do these people come together and do? They come together and nourish their attraction for Krishna. They want to learn who Krishna is. They want to learn about Krishna. So our temples are like universities. Prabhupada used to say that every temple should be like a university. So temple is a place where God is exclusively glorified. Not only by way of worship, but also by through words, through reading of scriptures, through teaching of scriptures. And the God's glorification, Krishna's glorification is the sole purpose of establishing a temple. So we learn who Krishna is. We learn what is his relationship with us, what is our relationship with him. And we also want to learn why we should love him. And we also want to learn how we should love him. Why and how we should love him. And this is what will be done in association of people. A bad association can affect us in three ways. So this is what we all should be desiring to do when we come in good association. Now, when we have say that the good association, there is also possibility of bad association, and we should be very very careful about that aspect of our life as well. That this particular verse, the emphasis is on the bad association. The next verse, the association comes Jana Sangha. There it is given from the good association standpoint. So, but in general, we discuss the association. Now, the bad association can affect us in three ways. One is it can affect our desires. Second, it can affect our intelligence. And third, it can affect our faith in Krishna. We'll see their practical applications that it can affect our desire, how the bad association can affect our desire. There's a story which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita of Kala Krishna Das, who developed desire to associate with women, leaving services of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu had to rescue him, and later, this Kala Krishna Das felt he repented heavily. He felt very bad that he fell down from the service of Mahaprabhu. And now this can also happen to us. These are temporary falls which comes in our devotional service. They are not major situations, but temporarily we may fail to comply with the regulative principles. We may not be able to we may break some of the regulative principles, and that can happen temporarily. That can happen unintentionally. Even intentionally, it may happen. So, but afterwards there is a heavy repentance that we feel bad about what we've done, and hence we should be in the devotee association who can help us come out of such situations. These are small falls, not big fall downs, but we fall for such indulgence and repent later for the feel miserable about it. The second bad effect of bad association is it can affect our intelligence. The story of Ajamil can be discussed here, and that how saw a prostitute embrace her lover in the jungle when he had gone to collect samidha for the yajna havan as ordered by his father. And then this momentary association remained with him. He enjoyed the emotion that those materialistic people were enjoying, and therefore developed a desire of enjoying the same thing. So he developed a desire to enjoy with the same prostitute. So he brought her home. He removed his young wife and old parents from home, and to got this prostitute in, and then to feed her, to maintain her, he started doing all kind of sinful actions to fulfill all her demands. He had many children with her, and the youngest son was named as Narayan. And the request of the sages who visited the Ajamil's home when he was not there. And from that moment onwards, the Kirtan began, the Sankirtan movement began in his home. Narayan kaha hai, Narayan kidhar gaya, Narayan ne khaya kya, Narayan soya kya, Narayan kaha gaya, Narayan se baat karni hai, Narayan dikh nahi raha hai, Narayan, 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 Narayan. And then like that, when he became very old, Yamdutas arrived because of his all colorful past. They had a list of bad activities that Jamil had performed. So Yamdutas came very confidently to take him back to Yamloka and then to the hell to make him suffer. So very confidently they started pulling his soul out of his body, and this fellow felt extremely fearful, shouted for Narayan, Narayan, and then your Vishnudutas arrived. The Vishnudutas arrived with four arms, with all the beautiful texture, blackish bluish screen, beautiful face, very effulgent Vishnudutas. They stopped Yamdutas immediately. They said, "What are you doing? You don't know Dharma." And there's a conversation that took place between the Vishnudutas and Yamdutas. The Vishnudutas actually asked Yamdutas to explain Dharma, that if you think you are working for Dharma, Yamaraj is Dharmaraj as well. So if you think you are doing the right thing, you explain me why it is like that. And they've been asked, they give lecture, they whatever they've heard, whatever was their understanding, they explained it very nicely to Yamdutas, but that was not sufficient. So eventually Yamdutas get convinced that they should not be taking Ajamil, and they leave him there, and then they go back to Yamaraj. So what happened to Ajamil was a case of a fall down, where his intelligence got affected by association of a woman who was materialistically minded, and so much so that he forgot his spiritual vision. He forgot his spirituality completely. He was a Brahminical person, an advanced Brahmana, a proper Brahmana, and he forgot it all completely. His whole intelligence, whole Brahminical qualities were completely destroyed by this association. And fortunately, by his great fortune, the youngest son became Narayan, and then his Sankirtan began. Indirectly also he started chanting the name Narayan, and he got saved in the end. But that's a case of rare. It's a power of name. Even if we don't chant it directly, unintentionally, even if we chant it, how it can benefit us. It's an example of extraordinary power of Harinam. How much power Harinam has, and which we chant every day morning, but we don't really fully appreciate the power that Mahaprabhu has, our Lord Krishna has put into this name, his name, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. So how much power that he has put in his name, we have no idea. And therefore, we are unable to appreciate it fully, but while we chant, and that's why our chanting is how it is. So, Ajamil is a case where our intelligence get affected, and practically for us, our intelligence can be attacked in many ways. Our intelligence can come under attack from our closest people, from our uncles, from our parents, from our siblings, from our uncles and aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. Then the very very close friend of ours may challenge us by asking us why we are doing what we are doing. And if at that point of time we are unable to give them a confident answer, if we are unable to present the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, why we don't eat onion garlic, it could be a simplest thing to explain. But if you are unable to explain it confidently with reasoning, and may not really give quotes, Shastric verses, but many such things just need simple talking. And if we are unable to speak our mind out, unable to defend our Krishna consciousness, our faith intelligence will get attacked. And by such attacks, our faith itself will become weaker in Lord. And then we may end up, we may not, if we are unable to defend our actions, we will not be able to continue with our actions. And hence, one should understand why we are chanting Krishna's name. People may twist arguments and tell us, ask us that is Krishna is like a why is Krishna crazy that he wants everybody to chant his name. If he's our father, he should be giving us what we want. Why? So people may come up with fancy arguments, and if we don't know the truth, the tattva, we can fall for such arguments. And if we are unable to defend, we will not be able to practice Krishna consciousness with dedication and commitment. And our commitment will become weaker by every such attack. And people will attack us. That's what they will do because they want us to be like them. And we want them to be like us. We want them to become Krishna conscious. And for that to happen, we should be able to present Krishna consciousness in proper way whenever we have to. And at least we can we can otherwise at least we should be able to defend Krishna consciousness by what we are practicing in proper way, so that they leave us alone with what we are doing. And then probably if they are not smart enough, they will not take up, but at least they will give us some space while we will give them their space. And that's critical in close family ties, very where you are alone, you are a lone devotee in the home, and where everybody else is a non-devotee. You need some space, and for that you need to give some space to others as well. We can't encourage other space, and in return we should expect people not to encourage our space and allow us to practice devotion service as can, and that can be a deal that we can do with those people. So that, but for that to happen also, our intelligence shouldn't get affected, and we should be able to defend our actions, our Krishna consciousness very nicely with these people. The third influence of bad association is the example of Kaikai losing her faith in Lord Ram. So she heard from Manthara, and her words went from her ears to her brain to her heart, and she started doubting Lord Ram's intention. So Lord Ram was the most ideal king, the most ideal person, human being, the most ideal son, most ideal husband, most ideal brother, most ideal king also he was. And he has Sabaguna Sagara, Sabaguna Agara. So he had all the qualities. The king has to be, the eldest person should become king, and he should also have capacity, capability of becoming king. And Ram was perfect in all respects. So there was no reason for Manthara or for Kaikeyi to believe that Bharat should have become king instead of Lord Ram. And she herself had complete faith in Lord Ram. She herself loved Lord Ram more than she loved Bharat. So before the conversation ended where it ended, the beginning, Kaikeyi actually becomes very happy to hear the news of Lord Ram being coronated tomorrow morning, and she gives Manthara a pearl necklace that as a reward. And but slowly, Manthara was able to poison her mind, and from then onwards, she ended up asking for the two boons: one, to send Lord Ram to forest for 14 years, and second, to make Dasharath the king, declare that Bharat will become king of Ayodhya instead of Lord Ram. And so all the three happened. The her we have her desires. She got a desire. She prior to that, she never had a desire for Bharat to become king. Her desires were changed. Her intelligence was destroyed, and her faith in Lord Ram was completely destroyed. And this is the most unfortunate thing to have happened. We should never lose faith in Krishna. If we lose faith in Krishna, then we will that will be the complete destruction of our lifetime. I mean, what will be left in our lifetime if we will not have faith in Krishna. Will become atheists, will become horrible life, will end up leading to whatever the rest of the years that we will live, will be doing a lot more damage to ourselves than otherwise. So losing faith in Krishna was the biggest risk that we all have of bad association. One is having bad desires and doing wrong things. Second is our intelligence is getting attacked and we stop doing devotional activities. And third, we losing faith in Krishna, so that in future also, even if somebody comes and tell us about Krishna consciousness, we will not be able to accept it and practice it in future also. So this whole lifetime become wasted if we end up losing faith in Krishna. So hence we should be very careful about our association. Last point, our relationships are triangular. We number one is our relationship with Krishna. This is fundamental. This is primary. We must do this. And this is the primary goal of our life, that to cultivate, to develop, to nourish our relationship with Krishna by performing devotional service, by hearing, by chanting, by reading about, by associating with devotees. This is what we are doing. We are developing, we are cultivating our relationship, direct relationship with Krishna. We also live in society, we also live in family, we also have friends, we also need to work to earn money or whatever. We are even in temple community, we are surrounded by people. So we have a relationship with other people as well, others in the social circle. So we ourselves and the other in the social circle, this is also there. This exists. We can't live alone. So secondly is our relationship with others. That comes as number two. The primary is our relationship with Krishna, and second is our relationship with other people. Now, if the other people also have their personal relationship with Krishna, just like how we have. So this is a triangle. Now this works very efficiently if we are busy. Our primary goal is to cultivate our relationship with Krishna, and other people, their primary goal is also to cultivate their relationship with Krishna. In that case, the relationship between us, we and they, can be very conducive to Krishna consciousness for both of us, can be very helpful to both each other, can fuel the Krishna consciousness of each other, can help each other, because then it will not be in conflict in any way. So now this is a best case scenario, that you have real relationship with Krishna, others have their relationship with Krishna, and your relationship help each one of us to cultivate their respective relationship with Krishna. Now, this is the best case scenario. This is, but this may not be the real life situation always. Now, others' relationship, now when others don't have any strong relationship with Krishna, when this piece is missing, when we have our relationship with Krishna, and we are forced to have our relationship with other people, that this could be our family members, friends, and they have no relationship with Krishna, or no, they are not serious about it, they are not practicing anything, making any changes to their life. When this is the situation, then we have two choices. One is to force other people to also cultivate their relationship with Krishna, or to leave them where they are and respect their free will, but also ask them to respect your free will to practice Krishna consciousness. Thereby, your relationship doesn't become strained, and at the same time, your relationship with Krishna also doesn't come under strain. what I'm saying is, when we find that these people don't have any relationship with Krishna at all, then we have two choices: to force them to have relationship with Krishna, and that can put a strain on our relationship with these people. Also, it can create a strain in our relationship with Krishna, because there can be great disturbance, there can be great agitation that we may face. We may have children, and if we force our children to um, chant, to come to temple, at times it can give serious problem. If those children happen to be grown up, then at times, it can create real conflict inside home. If we force our parents, for example, to start chanting Krishna, to cook food without only garlic, to start chanting, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to come to temple, it will be good for them, but even given their current disposition, given their current situation, they are unable to do it. And if we try to force our way for them to practice Krishna consciousness without they accepting it, then our relationship with them itself will become very troublesome, and in the process, our relationship with Krishna will also become troublesome, because with so much agitation in our mind, we'll have frictions with this class, whoever these people are. We will have great frictions with them, and in that way, we will not be able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We will not be able to. It's a lose-lose situation. We lose on this relationship, we lose on our Krishna's relationship as well. So there could be another way that you tell people about Krishna's greatness, you practice, but you expect and give them their space. Respect their free will. If they are unable to accept Krishna, respect their free will, but also make sure that they respect your free will to practice Krishna consciousness. In that way, you're at least protecting your Krishna consciousness, and not following Krishna consciousness affect your Krishna consciousness. So they maintain a distance. So you create a distance in the relationship, and when you have to do Krishna consciousness, you are not available for them. And when we are available with them, that time you can have nice relationship with them as well. You don't have to give up this relationship necessarily. And at the same time, maintain your Krishna consciousness. This could be very applicable to our family. We may be married in a family where nobody is Krishna conscious. You may be a daughter or a son in a family where nobody is Krishna conscious. Nobody is interested in Krishna consciousness. Now, what do you do? Do you give up? Do you give up your family? Do you give up your social circle? At times, it's not possible to do. And so, in that case, this works, that you give them their space. You expect them to give you your space. By doing this, don't trouble each other. At the same time, be nice with them. At the same time, we sincerely cultivate Krishna consciousness. The third thing that can happen is these others, instead of being here, suppose if they come in between, sit in between here, between us and Krishna. Now that's a serious condition. This is a serious situation, because here they are not neutral to Krishna. They are not following Krishna. They are not neutral to Krishna. They are anti-Krishna. Therefore, they are blocking our Krishna consciousness. Now, this is a serious thing. This is a serious thing where we actually might have to make a choice. Make a choice. If they happen to be our friends, we'll have to actually then give up our friends in order to accept Krishna. Because they are not neutral to Krishna consciousness, they are blocking our Krishna consciousness. They're asking us not to chant. They're forcing us to eat meat. They are forcing us to break the regulative principles, and so on and so forth. So if at all that happens, then it's a much more serious issue. And that requires serious attention, serious consultation with devotees. And hence, in all three stages. So when a lot of people ask that, what do you speak with devotees? Now, everyone who is practicing Krishna consciousness today is going through one of these struggles. It's not easy out there. It's not easy to become a devotee, even in today's world. India may be thriving. We are opening Ram Mandir in Ayodhya in the next month. So But despite of all that, becoming a devotee is not easy. Becoming becoming an alcoholic is much more easy in today's India. Become a devotee, people will ask 100 questions. People will raise a lot of doubts, and they will give you a lot of gyan themselves, and which will be which will be concocted knowledge, their own concocted knowledge, and which will has not benefited them, will not benefit you also. That kind of a knowledge, people try and force it upon you. And these people will not be neighbors, they will be people living in your own home. So what they do, you can't really ignore, but at the same time, you can't really follow, because that will destroy your bhakti. So it's important to understand the nuances of relationship, and this association, this is bound to happen in our country, in our world. And hence, we need constant devotee guidance as to how we should handle conflict in our relationships. And if any mistake done here can actually destroy our bhakti, can destroy our desires, can be help, can force wrong desires in us, can force our intelligence can get attacked, and our faith can get destroyed. And our bhakti lata beach for this lifetime can completely get extinguished, or can get destroyed, and we may just create a pause for ourselves and we'll have to wait for next birth and mercy from devotees in the next birth to begin with the Krishna consciousness process again in the next life, which is completely uncertain. So it's a great loss, and hence we need to be extremely careful how we deal with these people who are closely associating with us. We'll briefly touch upon Laulya. Laulya means being greedy for mundane achievements. Sustained desires that take us away from Krishna are also referred to as Laulya. But practicing devotee, the first priority is to keep Krishna consciousness their first priority. And Maya can attack devotees differently, and for new devotees, it can directly offer them opportunity for sense enjoyment. But for senior devotees, it may trick by asking them to postpone Krishna consciousness. So it's very interesting that Laulyam can work. Laulyam is greed for mundane achievements, basically. And the last of the six characteristics that Rupa Goswami talks about is Laulyam, and it's similar to Atyahar, but it's a greed, being greedy for mundane achievements. And by that greed, one will work hard, one will have a desire. When we have desire for Atyahar, one can also develop a greed for having it. And then one will over endeavor, one will associate with wrong people, one will have not follow any rules and regulation, and one may end up doing all six activities, which is even doing one can destroy your bhakti, doing all six will guarantee that your bhakti is finished for this lifetime. So it's very important to it's very critical to understand and make sure that we don't fall into this trap. And this again, the Laulyam, it can attack devotees differently, so that for a new devotee, opportunity for sense gratification can help them fall down. And for a serious devotee who is serious in sadhana, it can trick differently. It can say that maybe you need to do Krishna consciousness, that's correct, all right. But for the moment, this is the priority. Make Krishna consciousness your second priority. And eventually, Maya will convince you to make Krishna consciousness your third priority, and then fifth, and then 10th, and then 100. By the time you realize is not on your priority list at all. So, so that way, very subtle way, Maya can trick us and keep us busy in all kind of stupid things. And that way we can lose our opportunity to become a devotee and remain a devotee. So again, a devotee association is must to help us keep on the Krishna consciousness. Help us keep Krishna consciousness our top priority. We saw the numbers in the triangular, and those numbers also indicate that one is Krishna consciousness, one is our relationship with Krishna. That should always remain number one. no matter what our condition is. We may have health issues and we may have to attend those health issues, but in that also our relationship with Krishna also remains our top priority, should also remain our top priority. If we expect any cure to happen, it can only happen with Krishna's mercy, not otherwise. No doctor can save us if Krishna's mercy is not available. No medicine is going to work if Krishna's mercy, Krishna's sanction is not there. So no matter what our condition is, we should never let our relationship with Krishna, our Krishna consciousness, become second priority. And it's very difficult to do, and hence we need constant devotee guidance. We need to be talking with devotees constantly so that they can help us keep Krishna consciousness our top priority. Even if temporarily it becomes second, they will not let that temporary period get extended beyond a day or two or a week. They will help us bring it back. And that often happens. Some exam comes and we suddenly become, people become missing. People go missing from japa session. People stop attending evening classes. People don't come to temples, and then we wonder, okay, what's happening? And then we okay, some so and so exam is coming, therefore such and such person is not coming. But the moment exams are done, devotees make a phone call. Hello, is your exam over? Okay, the post-exam celebration, is that also over? Yes, now please start attending japa from tomorrow. Please come to temple immediately. Please start reading and posting your update from tomorrow onwards, today onwards, and so on and so forth. So devotees catch hold of those schools and bring them back on track. It's like it is said that the aircraft, when they're traveling from Mumbai to Kolkata, if you wish to go to Mayapur, will always, for most part of the route, it will be off track. It doesn't really travel in straight line. It always go off track, and the expert pilot brings it on track so that you end up going to the desired destination. So similarly, we need expert devotees guidance to help us make Krishna consciousness our top priority. It is one thing to forget Krishna, but it is more dangerous to even forget that you have forgotten Krishna. So, I'll read that again. It is one thing to forget Krishna, but it is more dangerous to even forget that we have forgotten Krishna. Who can give us that reminder? It's not going to come from our close association. It is only going to come from devotee association, and hence the devotees are given top priority in our life. And whoever is thinking that they will practice devotional service alone are making a mistake. If they don't have devotees calling them every now and then, which means they have never invested themselves in cultivating good relationship with devotees. And if they happen to fall down or get distracted in one of these three ways, by cultivating wrong desires, slowly they may start indulging into breaking of the regulatory principles, or their intelligence may get attacked, which they are unable to defend Krishna consciousness, why they do what they do, or their faith is shaken. And if they are unable to fight with any one of these three things alone, and they need devotee guidance, if they have not invested in cultivating relationship with devotees, they will not find any devotees around them to help them. Not that devotees don't want to help, but you have not sought help, you have not sought seeking help from them, and hence they are also unable to intervene. So we'll forget Krishna, we can lose Krishna consciousness for this whole life. And we'll have to worry, we'll have to depend on the mercy of devotees and Krishna in the next birth, whichever body we may get. And we'll have to hope that we'll have Krishna's mercy, Krishna's grace coming to us by way of devotees in our next birth, and we can continue from where we left off in the current birth. But why take such a risk? Why it's too risky? We don't know which condition we will leave our body in, and hence, if at least we are not in Krishna consciousness, there will be nobody to help us giving remembrance of Krishna at the moment of our death. So we may leave body in a very miserable condition, and we don't know where we will go. Which mode is it? Are we going to leave our body? We don't know, and hence it's too risky to depend on the next birth for the purpose of perfecting our life. Why not do it in this one same birth? That's what Prabhupada says, that you can perfect your life and go back to Krishna in this birth itself, if you follow all his instructions, all Prabhupada instructions. Our Guru Maharaj, his name is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, also says the same thing, that it is possible. Do try, stay in association with devotees, and it's not, it will happen. It can happen. The last line, just to summarize, Prabhupada writes in the purport towards the end that we should be extremely careful about 6 activities that can potentially destroy our bhakti. This Krishna consciousness movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in the world. By changing one heart at a time, by purifying, we will create ideal society. Enmity destroyed, economic imbalance is rectified. It brings political stability. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above mentioned 6 hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll just we'll give a reminder for everyday morning japa we do on Zoom. There's a separate japa session that happens for girls, Vaishnavis, and separate for a congregation. You should all be joining any one of these sessions every day, and also join Chad evening reading sessions of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita from 8:30 to 9:15. Happens daily, relentlessly, continuously. It started in somewhere in during COVID time, and it's been continuing. And so we all should take advantage of this, so that for if we are able to read ourselves, very nice. But hearing someone read these books also is extreme. Can give us extreme transcendental joy. So feel free to join these sessions. Please join these sessions. So we'll just break for some questions, and or else we can conclude today's class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for this wonderful session, and thank you very much for teaching us that how much potential the association of devotees has got. And we can always, every time we can understand that whenever devotees are there, means whenever we are in association of devotees, the miracles can happen as it happened yesterday, like book distribution. And had there not been the senior devotees, there were quite possibilities that we were not able to distribute even single book. So that is the unseen kind of potency that devotees carries. It's through their instructions, through their purities, through their practical implementation of instructions in their life. So uh, the gratefulness that can be, means that at least I feel that we should be obliged to the acts of the devotees is actually far beyond my conception. So because their greatness, their role in transforming the life of the fallen souls, at least like me, are too much, means is too great that it is beyond words. It's the words fall short, at least of my dictionary, to explain that. But at times I feel my behavior, it becomes something kind of offensive. So on this platform, I beg apologies for that. Means sometime I go beyond, like I talk too much, or some way I feel that I have interrupted someone. So on this platform, I beg apologies for that. But yes, the role that devotees are playing, like you are mentioning, that association and how much importance it is of, as Shastras explains. So you are simplifying it for us. And we often hear since our childhood that whatever kind of association will take, our mind will become like that. And it is very true. And you are simply explaining that in such simple way and how the pros and cons can be handled. So the best part I feel of Krishna consciousness is that devotees are taking care of each and every aspect, practical aspect that is coming in the life, that no other motivational speaker, no other relatives or friends, they can take care of to that deeper extent. So my big humble obeisances to you, Prabhuji, for all this great explanation and rather practically showing us that this is possible and this can happen in our life as well. Because since it is happening in your life and in the life of senior devotees. So thank you very much for all your wholehearted great endeavors towards working on the upliftment of our consciousness. Hare Krishna, Guruji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you so much, all the resource senior devotees and acharyas. Swapnil, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for this nectarian session, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, please beg me mercy if I may outpour my heart, but that is where I feel with the blessings of senior devotees like yourself, we feel so fearless to express ourselves. Prabhuji, about this association, I am a conditioned soul and I have all sorts of association, my old friends and everyone. Uh, but if at all I am myself developed a personality like a lotus flower, and I always keep Srila Prabhupada as a biggest example, who went and had an association of all people who were not at all, you know, at to any standard called to be called as devotees. But then he made a transformation to their heart, and today you see they are the biggest assets of this our society. Now, if we are able to develop our personality like a lotus flower, that whatever be the surrounding, but you are like a lotus flower and you shine, in fact, you shine within that. So, if at all Krishna consciousness can make my personality like this, that it doesn't matter where I belong, where I stay, but within I am so purified and so blessed by Krishna consciousness that nothing can affect me. So, Prabhuji, is my thoughts on a right way, or please advise, please give your nectarian thoughts on this, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, so this we'll go back to this slide. Let's show you something. So we'll go back to that triangular that we spoke about. So in this case, if, for example, we have our relationship with Krishna, and we have relationship with other people in our social circle. Could be our family, old friends, school friends, college friends, whatever, and they don't have any at the moment relationship with Krishna. They have eternally, but they have forgotten. Now we, as I said, we can do two things. We can either encourage them to start doing japa, come to temple, take prasad, stop eating meat, stop taking alcohol, start and stop, start doing japa, and stop doing certain things, so that their Krishna consciousness can begin at some stage from somewhere. So either we can force them to do that, and if they are grown up adults, they some may accept, but some may also reject. They will say, we know what we are doing. Don't teach us. You are amongst us. We are all together in schools. After we're just meeting after 20 years now. Don't teach us these things. Stop preaching us or whatever. So they may not really accept those instructions from us, because they don't look up to us as a teacher, as a guru. But what can happen here is, if they see us maintaining our calm, not get agitated if in spite of provocating situations, and being able to take decisions very easily, not fall for temptations, being able to show a lot of reasonable control over mind and senses. Don't use foul words. Be compassionate with everyone. Be nice. Be truthful. Show a lot of integrity. Now, these qualities naturally comes in a devotee. Now, these are sought after qualities. The whole world wants these qualities in them. They don't know how to get it. But a devotee naturally is truthful. A devotee will not cheat. A devotee. Can you go on mute, everyone? So by doing japa, by connecting with Krishna, that purification is just an outcome. And by purifying like this, all the good qualities will manifest in a devotee. A devotee will be nice, and he will be humble. He will not be arrogant. He will not be rude. He will not do backbitching. He will not do gossip. He will not. He will be a very trusted person, and show a lot of integrity. Be to the point. Be and so all the good qualities will manifest in a devotee naturally. He will be a good speaker. He will be very knowledgeable. He will be very resourceful. He will have examples to quote while explaining point. At the same time, he will be very humble. He will be very nice, and he will be very dependable, trusted person. And now, if you become like that, people will come and ask you the secret of your secret of you being who you are like this. How can you become like this when everyone is struggling? How can you be so like this? And that time, if you can share the secret of your success is because you are a Krishna conscious person, because you get up early in the morning, your connection with Krishna has brought in this purification. If you are able to explain this, then what the reverse can also happen. By seeing your enjoyment of emotions, when you say that I enjoy reading Bhagavad Gita, when you say that I enjoy doing japa, I enjoy getting up early in the morning and do japa, connect with Krishna. And I do that, I enjoy it so much so that I do it every day. Wherever I go, I do it. Even if I'm traveling, I do it. So much relishment, so much nectar I'm getting out of it, I can't give it up. And seeing your enjoyment, the reverse can also happen. Seeing your emotions and seeing the other people feel happy about that emotions, they are going to get a desire to develop similar emotions. By seeing your emotional state, they will also develop a desire to do things that you are doing, and that way they can become influenced. So Prabhupada, people just didn't see Prabhupada, early disciples, they just didn't see Prabhupada as a different kind of a human being. They saw Prabhupada was loving. Prabhupada was caring, genuinely loving, genuinely caring, genuinely truthful. He was completely knowledgeable. And therefore, they surrendered to him. Therefore, they knew whatever he is, whoever he is, what he is doing, he doesn't want to cheat them. He has no mal intention. And therefore, they trusted him. And he cared for them so much. He loved them so much. And they knew that he has their best interest in his mind, and people surrender to him. So if we can demonstrate some of these qualities, we may not demonstrate all of these qualities, people in our social circle will see this, and they will be influenced by it. They will get influenced by it, and they will want. Some of them will become curious about understanding the secret of our success. And if they understand our success comes from our connection with Krishna, they can easily develop a desire to have their connection with Krishna, and that way they can become devotees of Lord Krishna. Can we do it in mass way that Prabhupada did? Depends on us. Krishna wants to give that mercy to everyone. But it depends on really us. So to us, can we purify ourselves? Can we become? Can we read Bhagavad Gita daily? Can we do japa daily? Can we do devotional service daily? Can we work for Krishna at some stage in our life? Can we dedicate ourselves to Krishna? Can we take complete Sharanagati of Krishna? If we can, Krishna is there, willing to give us His mercy, and then hundreds and thousands of people can also get influenced by our bhakti, by seeing us perform bhakti nicely. They can become devotees. They can accept devotion service, seeing us becoming a devotee. So it's completely possible, but it's up to us. Krishna can give His mercy. It depends on how much we want to apply ourselves, how much Sharanagati we want to take to Krishna. So you can remember this story with the help of this slide.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this. And I one share that I was trying to understand that why so many temples were built by Srila Prabhupada, and I think the temples what he built, because marketing of good thoughts is equally important, and for the mass, what you mentioned that, and I think temple is the right way of approach where we can gather and transform hearts. So I think we should all participate in all activities to build any of the temple anywhere, and participate with our Yatha Shakti, because this is the place where the purity dwells. And I think this is the best example, Prabhuji. And I can understand why Srila Prabhupada, now understand why Srila Prabhupada built so many temples across the world. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. No more questions in the chat box. So we can conclude with today's session. Thank you everyone for joining. And do join Japa session, do join charge sessions, and participate in book distribution wherever you might be. Order for some books, distribute it to your social circle. Give them Krishna's association, give them Krishna, and hopefully some of them will become inspired to read, ask questions, and actually can take up Krishna consciousness nicely. So we can pray for all of them, and we can pray for ourselves to become a nice devotee, and they becoming nice devotee, and progress in nicely in Krishna consciousness. So with that, we'll end today's session. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll continue with the Nectar of Instruction verse 3 from our next session. Hare Krishna. Have a great week ahead. We'll meet next Sunday. Hare Krishna. Dhanatama. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavat.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.